LaMelt just goes straight up in the air, just straight up, and then lands flawlessly on the ground. Emerald Undercurrent is the only team that's made it to the finals every season of Junkyard Joust, due in large part to LaMelt, their ace in the hole. Last season they placed third after LaMelt was taken out by Hammered Kook for Legionary. In season 2 it was Creature from the Black Lagoon versus LaMelt, and Creature got the better of LaMelt in an epic finale. They got second place that year. And in season 1, who could forget the infamous moment when LaMelt took down almost the entire Silver Slivers team in one go. Hi everybody, welcome to the Junkyard Joust. I'm Aaron Yonda, and tonight Emerald Undercurrent are back to take on 9 other teams in the very first main event of season 4. Only 3 of these 10 teams can move on to the finals. Let's head out into the junkyard. I think it's time to joust. Evil Weevil, our track buffer, is now in place. Appropriately enough, sponsored by Track Buffer LLC. Evil Weevil's been doing a great job all season, still in tip-top shape after all this time. And there's LaForge, Troy, and Cookie hanging out in the shuttle. They've been riding down in cars all season. Nothing particularly eventful has happened. They've been having a great time. And now it's time to get round 1 started with Rig Heat for the Flying Rig, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Running order is up. The teams will be going down in this order, 1 at a time. They decide what cars to send down. The round will end once all 50 cars have descended. Next up, it's Wienermobile for Wiener Magic, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Wienermobile bonks Rig Heat. They all slide up to the front a little bit farther, but they are locked in. Here's a big old car, the 58 Chevy Impala for the Copperhead, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberg. Impala slides into the back of the Wiener and cannot get any cars off the track, but a nice, solid run. Prism Break is up. Now Scion XB, sponsored by Chemical Knight. The Scion slams into the back of that Impala, and the Wiener pops up and on top of Rig Heat, and that is not a good position to be in. Mr. Maroon has been around since season 1, and this season they've chosen a particularly battered group of vehicles. First up for them is going to be the 40 Ford 2-door, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. The 2-door shoves the Wienermobile off the track, and the Wienermobile, look at that recovery, sliding off. Looks like it's probably not going to go up right, but it does. That's some Wiener magic right there. Coming down for the Sunshades, it's 5 Alarm, sponsored by Jedi. 5 Alarm tries to heave the 2-door off the track, can't quite do it, gets him up curbside, but that's all he can manage now. 5 Alarm is also curbside. Crimson Crashers are starting off the VW T1 panel bus, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. The panel bus knocks 5 Alarm off the track, but 5 Alarm is really good at recoveries and proves it right there, as usual. Now he got 2-door locked back in the track. The myth, the legend, it's LaMelt for Emerald Undercurrent. LaMelt makes the tiniest of hits on the back of the VW, and LaMelt went down right now for a reason. Look at the back of that car. That is going to wreak havoc on the cars coming down the track now. First car to give it a try, it's Fusion Buster for Jet Streak, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Fusion Buster goes off the back of LaMelt and off the VW and makes a really nice recovery, stays balanced. Good athleticism with that hit. Here comes the Thunder Cutters. Team sponsor is TJG. You shut up when Pink Floyd is playing. Super Modified's up first, sponsored by Carlton Hill Enterprises. Super Modified manages to almost get under, actually does get under LaMelt, but cannot push LaMelt off. That's a quality undercutter right there. Not a lot of cars can do that. Taskmaster is up for the Flying Rig, sponsored by the Turbo Ventures. Taskmaster, big hit, and LaMelt goes toppling. Did not flip over. Kind of a lucky recovery right there for LaMelt. A lot of cars in competition right now that I think can handle LaMelt. I mean, they've had 3 seasons to look at what LaMelt does and prepare for it. Here's Chicane for Wiener Magic, sponsored by Swedenborg Smorgasbord. Chicane knocks Super Modified almost off the track and pushes Taskmaster up a little bit. Now we'll see if this car breaks into pieces like it did last time when Triple Threat makes the hit for Copperhead, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. Triple Threat gets underneath Chicane, no breakage there. Cars that are damaged during the qualifiers, of course, get a chance to repair themselves before the main event. Brand new team this season, the very colorful Prism Break. Up first for them is going to be the 69 Chevelle, sponsored by Woeful Fiber Art. The Chevelle gets a nice hit and 2 cars pushed off. Unfortunately, one of them, a teammate. The Scion gets pushed sideways. Chicane is out probably. The Scion was the #1 car for Prison Break in the qualifiers. Hopefully they didn't just lose it. Next up for Mr. Maroon, it's the 83 Custom Corvette sponsored by Mr. Bobo. Got a bit of a messed up windshield on this thing. Nice hit there, and the Chevelle goes toppling all over the place. Actually backed up on the top of Taskmaster, but couldn't complete the move and flipped over sideways and in danger. Gotta wonder if Troy is rethinking this parking spot and... oh my. Is that Winnebago? What is all that stuff? And Cookie, wait a minute.
It's me!
Cookie? And another Cookie?
Is there another one?
There's 2 baby cookies. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on, but the joust must continue. Ford Aerostar now for the Sunshade, sponsored by Woeful Fiber Art. The Ford Aerostar, a nice, powerful hit, and that convertible is knocked sideways. Triple Threat manages to make a nice escape off to the right side. Up for the Crashers, it's the Pontiac Banshee, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Ooh, a powerful hit from the Banshee, but look at what happens. 2 cars recover. That's the opposite of what you want to do here in Junkyard Joust. But the Corvette and the Chevette are thanking the Pontiac right now. Taking another look at what's going on the side of the field, it looks like Captain Picard is here. That Cookie, from wherever that Cookie came from, brought him with, and he is receiving medical attention. I wonder what happened with him.
Who the baby now, fool?
The Gallant Eterna's up now for the Undercurrent. The Gallant, a seasoned professional, goes off the back of the Pontiac and makes a nice landing. Always fun to see this car in action. And according to LaForge, it appears that Captain Picard was under the process of being assimilated. No idea how that would have happened. Both baby cookies have climbed on top of the weird-looking Winnebago. Now that I think about it, that Winnebago kind of looks like a Borg.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, here is the Jet Streak team. They are a team of undercutters, very low to the ground and fast. Up now for them, it's Bon Voyage, sponsored by Liz's Wizard Arts and Witchcrafts. Bon Voyage gets way under the Pontiac, and the Pontiac pops up in the air, gets caught, and flips over. That's a car that has made some great recoveries, but not so great right here. And the next hit is going to be trouble for Taskmaster for sure. Speaking of trouble, I hear Baby Cookie.
Cookie!
And the duplicate Baby Cookie. And Winnebago has just beamed away with the cookies in tow. I don't know where, somewhere through space and or time maybe? American Victory's up now for Thundercutter, sponsored by PriceX Private Parts. American Victory does the job against Taskmaster. Taskmaster is turned over sideways. Very little chance of recovery there, though it's not impossible. Up now for the rigs, it's Cabin Fever, sponsored by Wayland Enterprises International. Big hit from Cabin Fever, and American Victory is tossed sideways. Bon Voyage manages to escape. Nice hit. Here comes Avis Quattro for Wiener Magic, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. Avis slams that Cabin Fever vehicle off the track, but Cabin Fever shows some great balance and does not flip over. Here are the Copperheads, a team with some good variety, and of course they're all copper. Up next for them, the Custom Mako Shark, sponsored by Judy Collins. The Shark cannons into position, and this was a devastating hit. It might not have seemed like much, but the Scion and the Gallant Eterna have both gone over. That was 2 big eliminations right there. Here comes Burlesque, sponsored by Sloth Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Undercut extraordinary. Look at the Shark go up in the air. Avis almost gets taken off the track as well. That was a great hit for Burlesque. The Shark just goes all over the place. Does a little favor for the Gallant Eterna right there and rights that car, then finally falls upside down. Up next for Maroon, it's Street Scorcher, sponsored by Chemical Knight. Ooh, some serious scorching going on right there, and the Avis is tossed off the track. The 2-door farther down the track goes up on 5-alarm, but manages to retain its balance, and the Street Scorcher kind of stunned from its own hit. Still good, though. T-Bird Stalker for the Sunshade, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. The Stalker clips into the back of Burlesque, but that line is so solid right now, nothing is happening. And just when we thought everything had settled down, I hear the sound of, yep, it's Winnebago with Baby Cookie, but just one of them now. What happened to the other Baby Cookie?
I don't know.
Here comes Gazella GT for the Crimson Crashers, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Gazella assassinates that T-Bird. Stalker flips it upside down and it rolls off the track. Nice hit by that car. Emerald Undercurrent are sponsored by the Mighty Guardian Ranaman. You might notice some new blood. One swap is allowed for returning champion teams. This year, Emerald Undercurrent have chosen Open Roadster to replace Eye Candy. Next up for the Undercurrent, it is Salt Shaker. Salt Shaker makes a nice effort there, pushes some cars off the track, but does not get any eliminations. Looks like Baby Cookie has hopped off of Winnebago to go check on the status of Captain Picard.
I'll be your number 2.
Hopefully they'll be able to get him unassimilated. We're a little over halfway through round 1. Here's a quick peek at what's going on down on the track. You can see there are quite a few eliminations so far, and plenty more to come. Greased Lightning now, sponsored by Judy Collins. Greased Lightning lives up to its name, a fast hit, and Burlesque is tossed over all the cars, goes up to almost to the front, goes upside down, cannot survive. Salt Shaker is twisted and turned off the track, but manages to survive for the moment. Steamroller now for the Thundercutters, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Steamroller gets underneath Greased Lightning, but still wedged in there pretty solid. So many cars have been pushed off the track, we've got a little canyon growing in between them. Semi-Fast for the rig, sponsored by Regal Radio. Semi-Fast rolls through that canyon, a nice hit, but can't get any action, only Salt Shaker rolling off to safety. Here's a look at the full Wiener Magic team. You might recognize the silver and purple one, that's Rev Rod with the new paint job. Up now for them, it's Heavy Hitcher, sponsored by Illuminati Public Relations. Heavy Hitcher almost gets Steamroller rolled up on top of Semi-Fast, but can't quite do it and does not get anything else to happen. Here comes Innovator, sponsored by Chome for the Copperheads. Small car, but it can't quite get under Heavy Hitcher and backs out underneath. Vendetta now for Prison Break, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Vendetta gets a good hit. Innovator and Heavy Hitcher are both pushed over sideways. It's going to be difficult for them to make a recovery in this big heaping hill of cars that's being built here. Heavy car coming down. Firebird Funny Car, 62 grams, sponsored by Ellis Wertenberger. This car looks like it's been beat to hell. It's heavy enough to get down the track with some speed, though, and cause some potential damage. Heavy Hitcher gets pushed off a little bit farther, and Innovator is upside down. Cockney Cab 2 is the car that got it done for the Sunshades in the qualifier, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. Cockney Cab slaps the back of the Firebird Funny Car and pushes it farther down. Crimson Crashers were 5th in last year's finals. They've been around for a while, and they are gunning for the finals again. Up now, it's the Porsche 962, sponsored by Jelle. The Porsche does what it does so well, a massive undercut. And wow, the Cockney Cab goes flying way up in the air and lands and then manages to land yet again, then finally goes right side up down at the bottom of the pile. Open Roadster now for the Emerald Undercurrent, sponsored by Judy Collins. Ooh, a good debut for Open Roadster. Look at that. The Porsche gets flipped upside down. The Firebird Funny Car is tossed off the side of the track sideways. Those are both heavy cars. That was a savage hit from Open Roadster. Here comes a low-slung car, Nitro Scorcher, sponsored by Sid from Cybertruck. Nitro Scorcher tries to do the same thing to Open Roadster, but Open Roadster's not having it. Flips over sideways and then mounts a perfect recovery on top of the VW. Wow. Emerald Undercurrent's got to be pretty happy about their choice right now. Those eyes are looking pretty confident right now. Turbo Wedge for the Thundercutters, sponsored by Judy Collins. Turbo Wedge blasts under Nitro Scorcher. Nitro Scorcher goes all the way down past Open Roadster and doesn't make a recovery. It's honestly kind of hard to tell with this car. It almost seems like it's reversible, but taking a closer look, yes, Nitro Scorcher has made an amazing recovery after that nasty hit. Here's a good look at the full lineup of the Flying Rigs. Next up for them, it's going to be Long Gone, 81 grams, sponsored by Bion Automotive. Long Gone causes a lot of action on the field, but look at that, the Porsche has recovered now. Steamroller in yellow gets flipped upside down and takes the place of the Porsche. Little switcheroo right there. Rev Rod now, sponsored by Crone Turtles Mini Painting. Rev Rod bounces off the back of Long Gone. Turbo Wedge now is up sideways. Steamroller almost starts to make a recovery, but can't quite do it. Altered Ego was a great car for Copperheads in the qualifier, sponsored by Swedenborg Smorgasbord. Altered Ego chucks Rev Rod all the way down the line of cars. Rev Rod spins and spins, and Rev Rod loves to do this, but I'm not sure that Rev Rod actually made a recovery right there. Right now, that is looking pretty sideways. That could be a problem. Here comes Paradigm Shift, sponsored by PresX Private Parts. Paradigm Shift bounces also off the back of Altered Ego, goes back a little bit, and I don't see a whole lot of action. Turbo Wedge goes more upside down. Mr. Maroon's gonna send down Blown Camaro, sponsored by Dr. Gonzo. Blown Camaro kind of blew that chance to take out Paradigm Shift or Altered Ego and just kind of pushes into him. Here's a good look at the full roster of the Sunshades. They're a very well-balanced team. They're gonna send down Road Flipper, 61 grams, sponsored by Chemical Knight. Road Flipper gets underneath the Blown Camaro, and it does not end well. Paradigm Shift also goes up on the top of Altered Ego and does not make a recovery. And now Altered Ego could be in trouble here. But actually, everybody's in trouble because it's Solaire coming down, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Solaire gets under all the cars, gets way under Blown Camaro. Blown Camaro goes way up in the air, almost to a 6 probably. Altered Ego flips over and is done. Road Flipper somehow doesn't flip and actually just sits on top of Solaire. Berserk now for the undercurrent. Berserk tries to carve its way underneath Solaire. That's not happening. Solaire keeps forging forward, and Road Flipper stays alive. Jet Threat 3's up now for Jet Streak, sponsored by Brendan Walsh. Jet Threat tosses Berserk off the track, but Berserk makes a nice pivot and turns at the last moment and lands it right next to his own teammate, Salt Shaker. Could have been worse. Oddly enough, we ended up with 2 Firebird Funny Cars this season. This one's sponsored by Beak's Busted Barn Finds and is working for the Thunder Cutters. Ooh, man, that was a nice hit. This Firebird Funny Car's in a lot better shape than the other one, and the cars just go flying. Road Flipper is tossed over to the right, does not make a recovery. That's going to be an elimination, and Jet Threat just hangs on for the ride because that is the end of round 1. Look at that pile of cars. We had a pretty healthy amount of eliminations in this round. 21 cars are heading out. Taking a look at the aftermath, Thunder Cutters lost 3, Jetstreak and Crimson only lost 1 apiece, Sunshades lost 2, and Emerald Undercurrent did not lose a single car. Taking a look at the other 5 teams, Flying Rigs lost 2, Mr. Maroon lost 2, Wiener Magic was devastated by losing 4, Copperheads and Prison Break each lost 3. It's time for round 2. Emerald Undercurrent didn't lose a single car. They will automatically start first. The running order is randomly determined based on the number of cars a team has left. And when Emerald Undercurrent has the most cars left, you know what car they're going to start out with. It's going to be Lamelt. Crimson taking no chances, going to send down the VW T1 panel bus. This thing probably won't go off the back of Lamelt. And no, it doesn't. Too low to the ground. A handy vehicle to have on your team in this situation. They might have been thinking of Lamelt when they put this car on their team. Jetstreak has got Bon Voyage on tap. Let's see if it can do any damage. Bon Voyage, a swift smack to the back of the VW, but can't get anywhere, and now goes curbside. Here comes the ever-agile 5 Alarm. 5 Alarm gets caught up in the back of Bon Voyage. Bon Voyage gets pushed off, but stays alive. Rig Heat. Rig Heat gets some good action. 5 Alarm gets jostled and pushed off the track, but look at this amazing recovery off the back of the VW. This thing just has amazing balance. No eliminations yet. Here comes the Ford 2-door for Maroon. The 2-door gets a little bit of a punch on the back of Rig Heat, but can't make it happen. Mr. Maroon's Firebird Funny Car is out, but Thundercutter's Firebird Funny Car is in. Here it goes. Firebird Funny Car gets a big hit, but oh, it backfires and they go off the back of the 2-door. Almost flip over, but not quite. Still going. Rig Heat, though, is sideways. Bandetta's up for Prison Break. Vendetta spanks the back of the 2-door, and the Firebird Funny Car is put down on its side. 58 Chevy Impala for the Copperheads. Impala blasts the Vendetta off the back of the two-door. It goes cavorting all the way over to the crates and makes a pretty amazing recovery. Great job there. Only remaining car for Wiener Magic, it's the Wienermobile. Wienermobile smacks into the back of that Impala and locks it in. Wienermobile's gonna have to survive an undercutting hit from Open Roadster. Open Roadster shows it is devastating yet again. Takes the Wienermobile out. Wienermobile struggles, tries to recover, but can't quite make it. There's still a chance. And now Open Roadster is curbside. Here comes the Porsche. We got another undercutter. The Porsche tries to take out Open Roadster. Well, look at that recovery by Open Roadster. Lands on top of the Porsche and manages to stay alive. That car proving an asset. Nitro Scorcher. Nitro Scorcher boots the Porsche all the way, almost all the way off the track, and it's starting to go sideways. Could be in dangerous territory. Here comes the Cockney Cab 2. The cab knocks Nitro Scorcher upside down. Look at that, a perfect little lift and removal from the track. Wow, that was a nasty little elimination there by the Cockney Cab. Nitro Scorcher, tough car to do that to. Looks like Cookie is sitting over in the shuttle telling Jordy what happened.
What you want?
And Winnebago just powered down. I'm not sure what that means.
I can't answer your question, I'm sorry.
Cabin Fever's up now for the rigs. Cabin Fever gives a nice hit to the back of the cab, but then tips over and the cab is unharmed. Off the track now and safe. Corvette had a near miss in the first round. It's back again for Maroon. Ooh, the Corvette bounds into the back of Cabin Fever. A great hit, but then the Corvette goes upside down. Cabin Fever skitters along the top of a bunch of the cars, but can't quite make a recovery. And there, the Porsche now is sideways. Both of those vehicles in trouble. Super Modified. Super Modified gets underneath the Impala, but look at the Impala's recovery, and Cabin Fever drops down and is looking good. Not so good for the Porsche, though. 69 Chevelle. The Chevelle pushes into Super Modified, gets it under that two-door, and then the Chevelle tries to escape the track. A smart move to try to get off that track and get away. Triple Threat. Ooh, the threat is real. Triple Threat has pushed two-door off the track. It goes sideways. Chevelle escapes safely, and Super Modified stays safe. Berserk for the undercurrent. Berserk splits two cars apart. Triple Threat goes over and gets sliced and diced. Super Modified almost goes over, manages to come back. That was a pretty devastating hit right there by Berserk. Gazella GT for the Crashers. The Gazella knocks Berserk upside down and off the track, and also Super Modified. That was a nasty hit there. Crasher's got to be excited about what Gazella's done in this match so far. That's 2 more eliminations. Fusion Buster's going to take a shot for Jet Streak. Fusion Buster gets the best of Gazella in a big way. Gazella GT is thrown over, lands on top of Bon Voyage, and stays upside down. Nice elimination there for Fusion Buster. Ford Aerostar for the Shades. The Aerostar, a nice big heavy hit, but there's nobody moving right now. Lamelt, the VW, and Fusion Buster do not bend. Here comes a big hit, Long Gone. Long Gone slams the Aerostar upside down. The Aerostar is still on the track, so it's not over yet. But that was a nice big hit. Third car for Mr. Maroon, Street Scorcher. Street Scorcher knocks the Aerostar upright again. Look at it spin and then rotate upright. When I said it wasn't over, I was right. Look at that recovery. Now Fusion Buster is perched on the back of the VW, but then it falls back down again. Might have just saved itself. Gallant. The Gallant knocks the back of Street Scorcher, but nobody's home and nothing's happening. They always open the door when Solaire knocks. Watch out below. Solaire takes the Gallant out, goes up in the air and flips over upside down on top of another group of cars. The Street Scorcher is pushed upside down on the track. Still a chance for recovery there, but it's going to be tough. The Gallant did its best to roll over, but just couldn't manage it. Jet Threat. Jet Threat tries to get under Solaire, and it's not happening. Street Scorcher pushed off the rest of the way, almost to a recovery, but doesn't quite do it. Here comes Salt Shaker for the undercurrent, final car of the round. Salt Shaker tries to take out Jet Threat, but Jet Threat is too savvy and makes a great recovery, plants on the ground, and then slides backwards. Great move right there. 12 out of the 29 cars were just eliminated in round 2. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Things are evening up a little bit with Emerald Undercurrent. They've got 3 left, along with Jet Streak and the Sunshades. Crimson Crashers are down to 2, and Thunder Cutters have been eliminated from the main event. Good effort, but it is a tough field. Over here, the Flying Rigs have 2, along with Prism Break. Copperhead's down to 1. Wiener Magic and Mr. Maroon have also been eliminated from this match. That is 3 teams already gone. We are down to 7 teams, and there's plenty more rounds to go. Leave a comment and let me know which of these teams you think is going to make it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you around. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you very soon for the next episode of the main event.